I just want to start this off with this one here. Yeah, if I had a car, just imagine I've got a banjo and I'm doing this, okay? London, it's the place for me. London, it's the place for me. Wherever you, I don't know the whole song, but
that's very good. I like that.
Have you heard that song before?
I have heard it. I have heard it before.
Yeah, and it's what it was. It was on the Windrush. People coming off the boat. Young man had a banjo or a guitar. It's not a banjo, is it?
You know what? You know what I always find.
And he was sorry. Go on, mate.
You know what I always find interesting.
I'll allow you to interrupt it. Go on.
You see the footage of the people coming off the Windrush, okay, and they're sort of coming down the stairs and they look all sort of like quite like elated and I just think, God, if you just left a really hot tropical country and you turned up at Tilbury Docks on a winter's night, what would you think? It's such a culture shock, isn't it? I always think about the people that came over here and going through the winters and the crowded housing, because there was a guy actually said it was so weird to see the houses so close together when he got to London. You know, because there, obviously Jamaica, the houses wouldn't be like that, would they?
Oh, the Caribbean in general. There's Caribbean in general. People always talk about Jamaica as the only place in the Caribbean. It's just, you know, it's the one that's mostly spoken about. But yeah, it's true. It must have been
Montserrat.
St. Lucia. You know, Trinidad, Tobago.
Well, it's the same thing.
It's Trinidad and Tobago.
But anyway, obviously we talk about Windrush today.
Barbados. Okay, sorry, I had to get that just in case I'll bump into some Bajans and they want to do some, like, you know, fighting me on the street for no reason. But anyway, we digress. And obviously the news is... Windrush. English. This system, I've been trying to tell you, Steve. Been trying to tell you about the system.
Well, you know what I'm interested in? It's like, did you have any inkling of this before it came out on the news?
Yes. I knew about this in the black community. We communicated this for about last year.
Oh, really?
This is not new to us.
Well, I would have thought that, yeah. Because
people at black community, we were texting each other saying, oh, we heard things, they're sending people back to the Caribbean, and people reading the texts like, what? And it's been going on we've been talking about it for the last year and so. Yeah, it's been common conversation in the black community. Because people saying, oh, they're sending our thingy back, this person's back. So now it's just come out that basically they were sending... I
mean, I think people got as far as detention centres. I don't think anyone's actually got sent back, but they've been stripped of all their rights, haven't they?
No, I think some people have gone out to the Caribbean and they've not been able to get back to the UK.
Be the case, yeah.
Yeah, because they haven't got...
I think there was a woman. Who was the woman with Paulette Wilson? I think she was in a detention centre. I mean, can you imagine that?
Disgusting. It's disgusting, but you know what? It's just a major reflection to look.
So obviously it's the Labour Party.
I've said to you, I've said to you, black people in the UK, no matter who you speak to, yeah, even there's different types of black people, but there's a lot of us. A lot of them are like, we always put a finger on, okay, yeah, because we experience things and we tell people that we're experiencing things and we know that something's up and people look at you like there's something wrong or you've got a chip on your shoulder or like, oh, you're a bit crazy and life ain't like that, it's easy. Well, it isn't. And in the last few years, you can start seeing that there's a massive... How could you send back people from the Caribbean? Listen...
Do you know anyone specifically who's been affected by this?
Well, no, yeah, my brother-in-law, who's from St. Lucia, who was born in St. Lucia, came here back in the 60s. He
was a kid.
He was a kid,
yeah.
And he came on his mum's passport, and his mum passed away, and he never had no proof to think, and he was scared to travel, because that was another thing is people don't realise is that they're scared to travel because they can't show any proof.
Yeah, because I saw a guy in the news who said he felt like a prisoner.
Yeah.
He could never leave.
Couldn't leave, couldn't go on a holiday.
Couldn't get back in. Or he had feared that he would never get back in.
Absolutely. So, and it's really strange. It's like they want to send them back to a place that they actually created. They actually created the Caribbean. Yeah, these colonial countries that has really... They created... They want to send them back to a place where... They brought these people from Africa, brought them to the Caribbean, turned them into slaves, made trillions from, all right, which built up the Western world England
Are you
and
taking
France.
us back to slavery?
Well, this is what it is. I'm just giving you a history of the whole. This is the nonsense. It's disgusting. We can't just look at this and say this is disgusting. It's a history of disgusting things. And then they made millions, and all that money they generated from slavery, on the back of slavery, they plunged that money back into investing in travelling around the world. When
you say investing in travel around the world, who do you mean?
Well, they invested in literally this. So with all that money that they got from slavery,
What, the government?
The government, yeah.
Okay.
So they're making trillions. They're free labour for over 200 and some certain amount of years, yeah. Right. So you got free.
You talk about 200 years ago now.
Yeah, what I'm saying to you is that they generated all that money, and they could flip that money and turned it into, like the train steam systems and stuff.
Okay. So
the Iron Age and stuff. Not the Iron Age. What am I talking about? The steam engine age. The thing. The revolution. Yeah. All that money went into that.
Okay.
That never just appeared. You needed money to do that. Okay. Yeah, to have that. So all that money they're going for that. Then after slavery, when they set the slaves,
you can't even get a train on time.
Can't get a train on time.
All that hard work.
Didn't even build a train system on the islands. Right. Didn't even build a train system, right? So on the place that made them money. So after they set them free, and when they set them free, they left them on these islands. They didn't build no schools, no educational system. They didn't rehabilitate them after slavery. Came back, and then when a war happened.
Start from where the war happened.
So anyway, so they left them on there. Yeah. Never built a road, a street, nothing. They left them in dust. Left them on these islands after brutalising them, and then years later they just started looking at the islands and seeing it as a holiday resort.
Yeah.
Then literally years later. They get into a war. Then when they're in a war, they've got low population in people, so they needed to reach out to their islands, brought them over to fight the war, right? About 25,000 of them. Brought them over, about 11 or 12,000 of them died, in the war fighting against Germany, right? And then when they won the war, after the war was over, they wanted to go and march with them on the streets of London to celebrate because we fought the war, and they said, no, you're not allowed to. We're sending your ass back, because you're black. We don't want your ass walking down the street.
So they
wouldn't let them march on the street.
On the victory march.
On the victory march.
Serious?
This is historically factual.
Definitely.
Dude, I'm not making this up.
No, I'm saying you.
I could show you this.
No, I believe you.
I could show you this.
I believe him.
They didn't. So they didn't allow them. They sent them back. To the from the Caribbean. They weren't allowing them to march on a victory march after you fought for us and gave your lives.
Wow.
Send them back to the Caribbean, all right? When I went to the Caribbean, I went, do you know what?
We need them.
We need them to help do our shitty jobs, to help build this country back. And we need labour because we've got enough people here. Bring them back again, brought them back, and then when they came back, suffered racism beyond belief. Beating them on the streets at night, couldn't walk down the street. They wouldn't give them houses. They had dogs, no Irish, no blacks. They had, they couldn't rent. They wouldn't allow rent. They couldn't even buy property. There was laws where black people couldn't even buy property to generate wealth for themselves.
Yeah, really? They brought in laws?
They couldn't buy property.
They did buy properties, didn't they?
They had to eventually buy properties. They wouldn't give them loans to buy properties. Yeah? So they had to partner together to end up when they were able to buy properties. To do it, the only way
used to put 3 or 4 families.
Wouldn't give them no loans. Yeah. So they can't get mortgage. So they had to pull that money together to get it. Yeah. Then their children.
It's okay, mate. It's okay.
Sorry, it's very important.
It's okay.
But their children are disenfranchised from opportunities and building wealth. Yeah. So their children are left in ghettos in Tottenham, in Brixton, in Birmingham, in little towns, in poor neighbourhoods, and not able to get any opportunities. All right, and then they're the children that are rioting on the streets because there's no opportunities for them. In the 80s, no one had jobs in the West End, in the city. No black people. You never saw black people. They never got opportunities. So then after that, after all of that, sorry for the journey, but you need a historical concept. After all of that, and that's just the little pinch of the pie after police stopping them and police brutality, it's like sending them back to the Caribbean, the older ones.
It's gone like the full circle, hasn't it? Complete circle.
And then So every time you've heard Caribbean people say this racist system, this nasty system, they're quite got a history of being skeptical of this system. Sorry to give you that history, but you need it. There's context to it.
Very well. I can understand. I can actually understand the pain and the
frustration. To be frustrated. So that's why when you hear people go, "Well, you can do it if you work hard. It's easy. You just do this." Well, and then you're just pissed. So you're like, "Oh God."
This current mess. Sorry, Eugene. That was very well. Very, very, very emotive. That was.
I joke, but in all seriousness,
it's very passionate.
It's exhausting. And then you want to send them back, and then you want to pretend that you care for Europeans. You're more passionate about Europeans in Europe.
Let's keep away from the Europeans for now.
No. But it's quite factual. The same Germans.
Yeah, I know, but
no. The same Germans who they fought against to fight for this country. It's easier for a German's son from Germany to come into England than it is from somebody whose parents fought in the Caribbean.
Yeah, but you think
come into this country.
You think you've had a hard deal.
Come on.
You think? Hang on.
Sorry.
If you think you've had a hard deal, there was Jews that fought for Germany in the First World War, who were gassed by them in the Second World War. So there you go. You thought you had it tough.
Come on. That's disgusting shit.
But anyway,
that is disgusting. But
anyway, that's a side issue.
No, but that is.
But who do you think?
That's disgusting.
Who do you think is to blame for this current mess?
But then if you was to speak passionate about that, and then I'd go, oh, yeah, come on, it's not that bad. Come on, yeah, it's just what love goes. Yeah, it's nauseating, isn't it? You'd be like, well, how dare you understand?
No, it's terrible. It's terrible.
And that's how black people feel all the time.
Who do you think's to blame for the mess at the moment?
Who do I think's to blame?
I mean, it goes back. Apparently they brought into law in 1971, which basically legally entitled the Afro-Caribbean people to be here.
Yeah. 1971. That's the year I was born. 1971.
There you go.
The year I was born.
So basically, from 71, this shouldn't have been an issue. But then basically, in the last 2014, they tightened up the laws.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2014 was Amber Rudd. No, I think Theresa May was Home Secretary.
Theresa May was, but you know the funny thing is, they tightened up the laws, but they were so slack on the laws for Europeans.
That's true.
All right,
I suppose so.
They for the EU, they're so open, like, oh, you're part of the EU, anybody can come in, and then it just went. But then, sorry to digress, but it's just this hypocrisy. It's just the nonsense, the hypocrisy of the whole thing.
Do you think heads need to roll now? Do you think Amber Rudd, the current Home Secretary, needs to
go? Gone. And the funny thing is, they knew what was going on. They knew because they got letters. They got letters from people writing letters to the government to try to get their parents to stay in the country. They knew what was going on. Let's not pretend that they did. They're pretending that we didn't know what was happening. They knew what was going on. You don't think no one sent a letter to them to say, I would like my father has been here since he was 5. And it came through on the Passport Act.
So what do you think? You think they need to get compensated for this?
Oh, well, they're getting compensated.
Yeah,
but I don't like with Theresa May. And I said, what they do, they just throw money at the problem. They start pulling the checkbook out. And you remember with Grenfell, it's like, oh yes, we're going to make sure they start pulling out money. Yeah, and then the situation with Ireland, with the voting system, and then they paid Ireland party, I don't know, a certain amount of millions. Yeah, so paid them like I don't know how much they.
Well, it was a payoff, wasn't it?
Some big payoff to keep them that, and then now this is a big booby. She's just like, yeah, they're gonna get money for us.
Well, if you want to throw some money at me, I can leave my address at the end of this video. But yeah.
It's all about the paper, capitalism. But at the end of the day, it's like that's what. At
the end of the day,
yeah, that's what they're going to throw money at. Of course, they shouldn't be allowed to stay in part.
Well, at least, I suppose look on the bright side. At least it's now come out.
There ain't no brighter side, Steve. There ain't no brighter side. No, there is a bright side. What's the bright side?
The bright side, at least it's out in the open now, and people aren't going to be sent home. People are going to get compensated. People are going to be allowed to travel. People are now going to be allowed to claim the correct benefits or pensions.
Funny thing is, they need to go back to the Caribbean. because they need to be for the what's it called? The what's the thing that they're doing?
Who needs to go back to the Caribbean?
England. They're trying to be part of the Commonwealth.
What do you mean they're trying to be part
Well,
of the Commonwealth?
they're doing the Commonwealth thing. They've got to build relationships with the Caribbean. You ain't seen what's been going on.
Go on.
The whole Commonwealth. They've got to do business with the Caribbean now.
Okay.
They're trying to get back with the Caribbean, doing Commonwealth, being all part of this Commonwealth. They need to do business with them.
Yeah,
They're pulling back the Commonwealth because they ain't going to be dealing with Europe.
Yeah, well, of course.
So you don't do that. You want to be part of the Commonwealth and be sending Caribbean people back.
Well,
anyway.
Luckily, there won't be any people going back now. I'd like to thank Eugene for his very, very, very passionate and creative discourse today.
You're welcome, Steve. You're welcome. But it's needed, and it's called for to show a bit of passion in times like this. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, guys. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of Blase Blah, and we'll see you next time.
Subscribe as well. Subscribe to us.
Just
I'm tired of. I'm not going to tell you again.
One.
Subscribe. Yeah, just give us one. Just one person. So, see ya.